Taras Shevchenko composed poetry in Ukrainian and prose in Russian. His 200th birthday was celebrated in Moscow on Friday by people from both nations, including Ukraine's ambassador.
Unfortunately, today's ceremony is happening on the backdrop of events that I will not comment on out of respect for our mutual holiday.
It is a crisis of two nations deeply entwined. Experts estimate there are between 3 to 5 million Ukrainians in Russia, many of them undocumented migrant workers who send their earnings back to Ukraine. Russia and Ukraine did $45 billion worth of trade in 2012. Beyond the literature of Shevchenko, analyst Pavel Felgenhauer identifies a mixed language called Surzhyk, meaning mixed grain bread, common in Crimea, eastern Ukraine, and neighboring Russian areas.
It's not classical Ukrainian literature, and it's not Russian. It's a kind of non-literary token language, which everyone finds disgusting and funny.
Living in Moscow for 34 years, Ukrainian-Russian Vera Anipko grew up in Ukraine's deep east near Lugansk, a hotbed of Surzhyk speakers.
At school, we had classes in Russian language and literature, Ukrainian language and literature. But for math, algebra, or geometry, teachers spoke in the mixed language.
The nation's churches have ancient ties dating back to 8th century Kievan Rus, the proto-nation for both Russia and Ukraine. Church leaders have had a public exchange of letters decrying violence and promoting brotherhood. And according to Russian President Vladimir Putin, these brotherly relations ultimately could prevent armed conflict.
Ukrainian and Russian servicemen will not stand on opposite sides of the barricades. They will stand on the same side.
But the question is, if tensions continue to rise, will Mr. Putin's assessment still hold? Michael Eckels, Voice of America, Moscow, Russia.